Hi Fun Grace Rock students, it's Miss Alexa. Today we're going to be working on a partial handstand. So that's just a handstand where we don't go all the way up. It's one of our first steps to getting our nice vertical handstand. So I'm going to teach you some drills that will get us up to a partial handstand. Alright guys, as always, it's super important before we start any skills to warm up and stretch. So I want you guys to do some cardio. If you're outside, you can run around, you can do jumping jacks, high knees, booty kickers, anything to get your heart racing and get your body moving. And then I need you to do that basic stretch that we do in class almost every single week with butterflies, pike stretch, straddle stretch, lunges, splits. Really stretch those wrists by rocking them forwards and backwards and side to side because we're going to be on our wrists for our handstand. And make sure that your ankles and neck are also stretched. Alright, so now we're going to work on our first step in getting this handstand, and that's a lever to T. So we're going to start in a lunge with our front leg bent, our back leg straight, and our arms squeezed up by our ears as straight as possible. And we're going to lean our body down, and as we lean, our leg lifts and we make a nice straight body T position. And come right back down to our lunge with our front leg bent, our back leg straight, and our arms by our ears. I want you guys to practice that at least 10 times and make sure you have it really solid without wobbling before moving on. Okay guys, now that we have a really strong lever to T, we're going to start working on our lever all the way down to the floor. So we start in that same beautiful lunge position with our front leg bent and our back leg straight with our arms squeezed straight up by our ears. And we're going to tip the top of our body down as our toes lift up to the ceiling. Now our hands hit the ground. We want to try to get that straight body position just like we did in the T. And then we start to come up. You need to make sure that when you're moving to your lever to the floor, you move through that lever to T position. So you're going to hit that T in the middle and then continue to follow through down to the floor, back up to your lunge position. So this next drill, we're going to use a couch, which is something most of us will have at home. So it's kind of a benefit to being at home is that we have this item. So you're going to work on holding a position with your feet up on the couch and your hands on the ground. If you're a bit shorter, it'll more make an L position for you. It doesn't for me because I'm a bit taller. But then I also started to show you that you can use the couch to just do partial kicks up to a handstand. I want you to be really careful with this because it's easy for you to kick and fall. So really be careful and only do this if you have space and permission from your parents, but you can start doing little kicks from one foot on the couch to meet your other leg to get ready for that partial handstand. Alright guys, I have one more drill for us before we move on. We have to make sure we start this drill in that nice lunge position just like I keep talking about in all of the other drills. But then we're going to do our lever in. So we're going to lever all the way down to the floor and you're going to kick your bottom leg off the ground only a little bit while your top leg goes up to the ceiling. We're going to try to make an L position with our body in the air so that we can work on getting our feet off the ground before actually kicking up to the handstand. Our one foot will be closer to the ground in case we're going down so we can catch ourselves, and it'll really help strengthen us before we work on that partial handstand. Guys, you finally made it to actually attempting the partial handstand. I wish I would have shown it better, but you can start by working up and doing little kicks off the ground and getting higher and higher each time. But your goal is to be able to kick your legs so that they're almost to a vertical position, but they don't have to hit that straight up and down position. That position can get really wonky with our balance, so we don't want to go all the way up if we're not strong enough to get there yet. So just kick up to as high as you can, but I really want you to work up by kicking smaller and smaller each time. I wish I would have shown that, but I didn't show it as well as I was planning on. So just make sure you're doing it at your own pace and working it at your own time. So you're starting from that little kick where your one leg comes off the ground and it meets until you get up to a higher position. That's why we started with those L's, the L handstands that I was showing before, because then potentially what you'd be doing is doing that same L and then tapping your feet together before you come down. So that's what I want you guys to work on next, and then you'll be able to get that partial handstand. Alright guys, so now that we've done all of that, it's really up to you to keep practicing and working on this skill to get it strong. I really encourage you that if any of these drills are difficult for you, that you stop and you work on those for as long as you need until you get them comfortable. They may not be comfortable for you in just one day, but I really encourage you to not move on in the video until you get that one drill first. So make sure you're working at your own time and being super careful. I don't want any of you to get injured trying any of these drills, so just make sure you're doing it at your own pace and you don't move on until you're comfortable and strong enough at the drill. So I wish you the best of luck working these skills at home, and I can't wait to see you in the gym soon.